Hello, my name is Arthur Robert. I am born in Vienna, Austria, and I live in Berlin, Germany. And I'm a techno producer. I've been making music for about 9 years and DJing for about 15 years. And currently in India and Bangalore tonight playing for Beatworx and audio units. I DJ as a specialty DJ, so I'm not a classic type of DJ that goes and digs for like all the newest music and goes and buys it necessarily, or digs for really old stuff. I get sent a lot of unreleased music from friends and play a lot of my own unreleased music. So, and that's in a very particular style. So that's my current approach to DJing, because normally I'm a live act. So I play live electronics and I would bring my instruments along. So that is what I work with at the current state. Being a producer is a much deeper act, if I can say so. I spend a lot of time in the studio and I make music daily almost. And DJing I do only in clubs. Meaning that I'll only practice when I'm performing. So for me, DJing is not as important as producing. And I find producing also more rewarding in the sense where like it's a far more complex and deeper like thing to do than like, yeah, I mean, I love DJing, but you can only do that much when you DJ. So in that regard, I find like I have a distinction between production. And so I much rather produce than DJ, but I love DJing as well. And I get to see and hear my music in real life, and that's lovely. Well, I love video games. I love movies. I love other genres of music, techno, such as ambient or trip hop. And they all inspire me, but most of all, people inspire me. People in traveling places. So yeah, I think a lot of my music comes from the inspiration from people and from various experiences that I have, of course. I mean, that's fairly cliche, but most people would say that. But yeah, it's people. I think people is the most inspiring thing for me. Like, it drives my music a lot. I love people, and I can also find them very difficult. Techno for me is universal. It's, I mean, first of all, sound is universal, but techno is very universal. It can speak to people from any country, from anywhere, as a matter of fact. And I find that's very important to me, because that way I was able to reach people with my music in the entire world. And because I also speak a few languages, I find that music and techno is like my universal language. And I feel very privileged to be able to travel around the world and play my music to people who listen to my music and who are interested in hearing me play and what I have to offer. I personally think that techno is in a very good place, especially for someone like myself and my peers. And in regards to the other stuff, it is what it is, right? However, there is one aspect that I find quite concerning, and that's the rise of phones on the dance floor. Because phones on the dance floor rob the vibe of a dance floor. And it makes people more, like when people see phones and being filmed, they behave differently. So I think that's something, I hope that's something that will end up disappearing, at least from our dance floors in our genre, or in our niche, so to say, because it's something that is like destroys the atmosphere. Well, in regards to the Indian techno community or scene, I haven't experienced very much. However, I've grown quite fond of the current state of affairs and the people, to be quite honest. And that's also as a private person. But because, like I mentioned earlier, I connect to people and I'm inspired by people, this trip has been nothing short of inspiring for me, and I hope to be back and to see things going for the better, and to see the Indian techno community find its footing with the proper space, or a few proper spaces where they can play their music safely for all sorts of people, because diversity is important. And yeah, it's an amazing country with an insane potential, and I love it. So I'm very happy to be here, and I hope to be back next year. I've grown really fond of seeing and hearing that there are a lot of passionate people, and they love the sound, or our sound, or whatever you want to call it, and that you need to build community. I mean, there is this term business techno, and of course there's people who will want to make money because, there's opportunity and whatnot, and there's an emerging class of young people who have disposable income, they want to party, they want to have fun. Because I don't think techno is very old, it's quite new here, and that is a big potential, but it has to be done very carefully through community and not seen, or money is important, people have to eat, and artists have to have income, but if you do it community-based, grassroots, I think it could become something quite incredible, something where people will travel to India from outside to witness it.